Oh my God, I'm nervous. Okay, cool. So hello everyone. My name is Ashley Ramirez. I am currently my pronouns are she, her, hers. Let's start there. I'm currently a junior, double majoring in sociology and legal studies. This is my first year working for EOP as a GIP assistant. However, I feel like I've gotten the hang of it, so I feel very comfortable doing this. However, I'm still nervous to present. So excuse me if I talk too fast. Feel free to interrupt me if need be, but let's go with this. So, and Michelle, do you want to present yourself?
Yes.
Introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Anne Michelle Sotelo. I am a senior at UCSC, triple major. I've been with the program for 2 years now, so I'm pretty well versed with the process of grad school. I'll be here for technical support, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Anne Michelle. And thank you to all those who are here and also who plan to use this video or slides later. So, of course, this is my grad school abroad 101 workshop. Basically, I'm going to just break down kind of like different options to go about doing grad school or like just research in general abroad. Again, this is a 101 introductory, so it's not full out, but it's good information to know now while you're thinking about it and researching different opportunities. So let's get started. And if you have questions, I will be here right after to ask you questions, or feel free to ask them in the chat and I'll get to those when I'm able to, but I will get to them. Yeah. So first things first, things to consider when considering grad school abroad. So things to consider are, what do you hope to gain from this experience? Where do you want to go, obviously? Would you like to use language skills? And if so, are you proficient in enough to make that language work for you? How long would you like to stay abroad / away? How important is it to be paid? Because obviously, some cases you can get paid, but other cases you have to provide income yourself. Can you support yourself financially? How will the experience relate to longer term academic or career goals? And what type of working visa, if any, is required? There are obviously student visas, there are obviously working visas. These are just different things to consider or just think about now in regards to like, okay, what do you want to actually do while you're abroad? Okay. So again, I'm going to go when doing grad school abroad or anything abroad, really, there are so many different ways to go about it, which is why it's good that you're going through this now to just figure out what the best option is for you. So, first things first, international related graduate studies opportunities. So, something that you could actually do is you could actually apply for a university or a college in the US that has an international like opportunity to go abroad yourself. So different schools that offer this kind of opportunity is American University, Washington, D.C., Boston, Claremont, Columbia. And I have a document or a Google Doc with different schools and like what majors or I guess what programs they offer. And these are just schools to look into in the case that you see a program that you're interested in. But yeah, so basically you would apply to these schools, but you would do most of your studies abroad, if that makes sense. So I'm going to share these slides with everybody. So when you get on this slide, you could go on to this doc yourself and go through this list. But this is one option to go about this. And so what this would look like is you would go through the regular grad school application process in the US. So GRE applications. This is kind of a lot I don't want to say simpler, but it would require a lot of less work, or you would have to follow more US guidelines when applying to grad school in this case. Okay, different opportunities is you could seek out research and fellowship opportunities. So what you could do, a good place to start is think about what country you want to go to and go on that country's consult or / embassy website and look into government fund opportunities on those websites. Or you might also want to search the US based Institute for International Education for other funded opportunities to study and research abroad. So what this would look like is you'd go on this link right here. And basically what you would do is you'd say, okay, you're a student, choose a country that you're interested in. So let's say I am interested in Australia. I want to study social studies and I want to go. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I'm from the United States. And I want to go to, where are you? Okay, never mind. We're going to Europe. And so basically, it's going to just give you a list of different scholarships and opportunities on here that you could do. And these all meet the requirements of what you just inserted. So yeah, definitely look into that if you're interested in that. Let me just get this back to how I liked it. There you go. Okay, next slide. So other things to look into are scholarships, obviously, because this isn't going to be free. There are multiple prestigious international postgraduate scholarships. Those are the Fulbright program, Rhodes Scholarship, Marshall Fellowship, and sorry, I can't say that. So that also that one. With these require, what these do is they actually pay for you to go abroad and do research. These, however, because they're prestigious, require a lot more work to apply to. So, and usually these require campus endorsements in order to apply to them. So UCSC actually offers counseling for these awards. So what you could do is go on this website and you could actually meet with an advisor and they could help you get started on applying to these programs yourself. Her name is Gabby. I can't say her last name, but if this is something you're interested in, you should definitely start talking to her now, because obviously, again, in order to apply to these, it takes a lot more work than like a usual scholarship would. Yes. Okay, different things that you could do. So obviously, going to grad school abroad, there are different ways to go about it. You don't have to go straight into grad school in order to go to grad school. You could actually move to the country yourself, do some work there before you start applying to grad school. So you could obviously do internships, volunteer, or just like work there for a while and get used to the country and learn more about the country. So different internship and volunteer opportunities are the Alliance Abroad, British Universities of North American Club, Cadres Online, or you could also like do Teach Abroad, different things that look really good on your part. It just shows that you have experience in the country and the field that you want to study in. So it's just another added bonus to add to your resume before you apply to grad school. And also it's an opportunity to do work abroad as well. And again, I created a Google Doc with all these different opportunities that you could all go through when I send you these slides. So yeah, definitely look through those if that's an option you'd be willing to consider. Again, there is no right way to go about this. Everybody goes through a different path when it comes to schooling. So it's just up to you in regards to what exactly are you looking for from your abroad experience. Okay, so also you could also teach English abroad before you go to grad school. You could move to the country and there are different programs that actually hire you to teach English abroad. So most of these programs prefer commitment of one academic year, though some offer summer or semester possibilities. In general, a bachelor's degree is required, which most of you are obviously getting right now. Although in most cases, you do not need to be an English major. Organizations are most interested in your ability to speak native and fluent English. Volunteer and paid teaching opportunities can be found throughout the world. So yeah, depending on what country you want to go to, you could definitely do this and get experience in that country and then start your grad school process. So the benefits of this is you become part of the international community of teaching professionals. You get to explore locations you're interested in while getting to know community and or culture. You obviously build your resume experience, finance travel while living abroad, become an important member of the community and impact people's lives, and you're providing service to others. So that's why you should probably consider it. But again, we're all different. We're all going to seek different opportunities. Okay, so I kind of want to go over quick little pros and cons of why you should do grad school abroad. So the pros obviously are you will receive a degree at a lower cost in most cases. That honestly depends on the country. Some countries do offer education totally for free. However, in those cases, usually you get to be a citizen or like live there for a while, which is why, again, considering you should also consider the other options I gave you in regards to doing work in that country before starting your grad school process. But in most cases, though, the US is extremely expensive. So you will most likely be paying less for your education at other countries. You could possibly learn a new language depending on what country you go to. But if you're seeking to like get an education in a different language, you will obviously receive that. And then international networking widens employment options. So aside from connections with local experts and faculty, your classmates are invaluable when it comes to networking. So you will meet people from different countries in that country in particular. So consider this when applying to grad school abroad. Also, again, please consider what exactly is your goal, like career goal after this. Like, will this help you in the long run, meeting different people from different places? And then obviously with pros, there are cons. So the cons are, so yes, you will most likely have a lower tuition rate. However, cost of living is a bit high, can be higher, again, depending on your country. So you may find yourself paying nearly the same amount in a country with free tuition as university in the US when factoring the cost of living. The language barrier can limit your job opportunities. So if you are seeking to like find like a job, like just to like help you get by in school, if you possibly don't speak the language that well, if it's not an English speaking country, it might be a little bit harder for you to find a job. So again, make sure that the language barrier isn't going to be an issue for you. And you might possibly miss out on networking in your home country, so the US. So if you plan to return like back here, just note that like you won't have the same networks that someone in the US, someone who went to grad school in the US may have gotten. So again, consider like, do you plan on coming back here after your abroad experience, or do you want to stay there? If you plan on staying there, then go for it. Like that might actually help you. But it's a competitive job market here. So just know like what you're going into when doing this. Okay. And then final note on the foreign degree of acceptance. Again, if you plan on returning to the US after earning your grad degree overseas, your credentials may not always be immediately recognized here. Overseas degrees in fields such as nursing, medicine, law, and education require a lengthy verification in the US by individual accrediting bodies. So like a lot of these degrees may not even be like acceptable in the US. They may or they may not, but remember that a lot of our requirements are different than other countries. So for example, social work degrees earned abroad are subject to internal review by the Council of Social Work Education. So if you do plan on coming back, please like expect to have to go through this process of getting your degree verified in the US, if it is able to get verified. And then private employers may also require credential verification with essentially that which is, hello, Ian. Um, okay. So again, this is recorded. So whatever you miss, you will see in the recording. But thank you for coming. Okay, so another final note on foreign degree acceptance is that private employers may also require that you pay to verify your foreign degree. So there is no official organization to perform this service. World Education Services is widely used and can provide degree verification, course equivalency, and authentication of fees. This usually ranges from $100 to $145. evaluation of professional licensing or certification could cost you up to 205. So expect to possibly have to pay around that amount to get your degree verified if your employer also requires it. Okay, wow, I have a lot of final notes. So if you're pursuing a highly specialized degree program abroad, make sure that your degree will be recognized in the US should you plan on returning to work here. Some degrees, such as the Masters of Law, are not accredited at all and require additional schooling at the US institution to be eligible for licensing. So earning a graduate degree abroad is an exciting journey, but requires proper planning, which you guys are all starting to do now. If you determine that this is that's right for you after weighing the pros and cons, make sure to do your research before selecting the perfect course to study. And then, okay, COVID-19 obviously has a factor in this. First thing that I want to say first is do not be afraid of gap years. A lot of schools encourage you to take gap years in order to build your experience and your resume. A lot of schools like it when you have like full-time experience in whatever field you're interested in. That's why a lot of people who go to grad school are a lot older. Also, my advice to you is we've been going to school for what, like 16 plus years. We need a break. So take a break if you feel like you need it or if you could afford to take a break. So yeah, that's why I encourage gap years here. And then many schools are taking COVID-19 into consideration when looking at applications right now. So don't be afraid of like taking the gap year because you don't want to go to school with COVID, like in COVID time anymore. And also in regards to like your college application, they're gonna like know what years what years might have been affected due to COVID. So don't be afraid of that. And then obviously, by the time you plan on going to grad school, uh, COVID-19 won't be the biggest issue with like the vaccines being rolled out. So expect to most likely be in person by the time that you go. So you do expect to actually like go to the country and go to a class in person. So what should you start doing now? I imagine that most of you are just considering this at the moment. So what you should do now is first get a passport. Getting a passport takes a lot of time. I have to get mine soon, but it's also very expensive. So try to like plan this out now so you don't have to worry about this because once you actually start applying to grad school, you won't have a lot of time to do little things like this. So get that passport so that way you have like one big thing out of the way. Talk to an advisor. Feel free to come to us, GIP, make an appointment with us, or talk to a study abroad advisor or your college or major advisors to figure out your graduation plan. Talk to your professors. Most of them have done research abroad, so they could talk to them about their research. Also, you want to get to know them now anyway because you will need letters of rec. So make sure you're building connections with them so that way you know who you want to get a letter of rec from. Also, look into schools that you would potentially want to get to apply to and make appointment with those schools' advisors. Get your name heard in that school and like just like make yourself known and ask them about their requirements and what you have to meet because obviously you're getting your bachelor's now, but you don't know if like they also want you to take other courses besides that or different requirements, just like entrance exams, and start prepping for entrance exams. Obviously, if you're going abroad, you won't need the GRE, but you potentially might have to take an exam with these schools. So look into that, and then obviously save money. A lot of people do because it's apparently cheaper, but that's not always the case. So start saving your money now and figuring out what exactly your financial plan is. But I believe that is the end of my presentation. Can we stop recording, Michelle?